Yeah, we'll go Milton on Friday, Gordon on Saturday, and Summer on Sunday.
What have you seen from Gordon in his first few weeks of this preseason? What has he shown you as far as compared to what you
Well, having not recruited him, I came in with a pretty open mind on what he could do. Obviously, in the preseason, kind of the chatter about him was very good. I think from the fall to the spring, what I've really seen is the development of his sinker, the growth of a changeup to where he's very dangerous against left-handed hitters, where he wasn't as much in the fall with more of a spike curveball. So just his growth and the pitch manipulation and his ability to throw to both sides. He's done a better job of being able to hold the run game, pitch out of the stretch. He's really gotten a lot stronger. He's really invested into his lifestyle, his diet, nutrition, and lifting. So you see him be able to hopefully hold the velocity longer, hold the stuff longer. He's done a really nice job. He's thrown a lot of college games, not at Division I level, but still being an ace, being a guy who's pitched college innings, being an adult, goes a long way. So very, very confident, very excited about it.
Similar question about Summer. I mean, he was a guy that kind of flashed some things last year, young guy, but I think some good tools, it felt like. Just how much has he grown?
He's grown a lot. I saw him in high school, good stuff, obviously very projectable. But his ability to hold the run game is very mature. He's an adult. His growth, both physically and his ability to really manipulate the pitch and the ball, has been really good. So you feel really confident about his ability to go out and throw on a weekend at a young age, relatively as a sophomore.
So the old Big Ten preseason stuff, Matt Lloyd, Matt Gorski, obviously people are well aware of their quality. There's a lot of returning people out there that people know. But talk about some of the newcomers that have caught your eye.
Sure. You look around positionally, you look at Cole Barr, who's a guy that played a little bit, but he's really coming to his own. Elijah Dumb's in a very similar thing. Jake Skrine's done a great job. Sam Crail. There's several guys. You look at guys like Cade Bunnell, would step into a more prominent role. Justin Walker. Positionally, you feel really good about those guys. On the mound, you look at obviously Tommy stepping into a different role. Gabe Bierman's been really good, especially the last couple of weeks. Braden Tucker. I look at a guy like Braden Scott is a swing guy as he goes. He could be really good and really help. Obviously Tanner Gordon. So there's a lot of new faces. Guys new to the program, but realistically, a lot of guys that were in the program that have worked really hard and improved themselves, and you'd expect to step into a much more prominent role.
Well, you see guys like Sal Frank and Kruger out of the pen to help you, and are you still looking at bringing your closer back? Is he still is Mercer going to fill that role?
Yeah, Matt Lloyd will be in the back end. Cal looking at a guy that can as the game situation plays out. But Kruger probably in the eighth. Saul Frank with the break-on ball. Certainly a guy that's thrown a lot of innings and can be a really good matchup guy. And as the season plays its way out, it's nice to have guys like Sal Frank and V-Champ and Braden Scott that could potentially be starters as well. But they'll start out of the pen and give us an ability, certainly early, to not ride our starters, to match guys up and hopefully put those guys in a situation to be successful, especially early, get their confidence, kind of get their feet wet as the new season begins, and really help us to secure some wins.
What do you know about this team now that you didn't know about it when you got it last fall?
I think anytime you come into a new situation, you don't know their desire to learn, their desire to really be, or their ability to be intrinsically motivated and to really have a growth mindset. And you don't know that when you walk in the door, but very quickly that became evident that they really wanted to improve. Man, they're so smart. They're very motivated, they're intelligent, and just to see how much they've grown in their ability to work, and certainly coming off of a very successful season last year, that's not always the case. Guys can become complacent and reliant upon a lot of talent, which we do have, but they didn't act like that. They didn't act like they were just going to walk in and win games based on their ability or their track record in the past. So I would say that.
Scotty Bradley last year was coming off an injury, kind of started off slow and then got better as the season went on. What have you seen from him this offseason that you like?
Scotty's a terrific worker, just an insatiable appetite to work. He can be a little bit too much of a perfectionist at times, which is a great problem to have. But Scotty's been great, a very seasoned offensive guy that continues to grow. He's actually caught a little bit for us too. We had some injuries and he slid in, did a great job. So a lot of really good things from Scotty, but I think he leads with his work ethic. The example he lays out, especially for the young guys, is extremely important.
The baseball backs is being strong up the middle. Got everybody at long-term combo. Kalitha played center last year. How does that look?
You feel really strong up the middle, and obviously anytime you have a chance to roll guys out in the middle of the diamond that can control the ball, play great defense, and have experience, you feel good about it. But you look at a guy like Cade Bunnell being able to slide into the middle. He's been terrific. Drew Ashley's been really good. So you'll be able to get those guys in there, have success, put them in situations to be successful. But yeah, it gives you a lot of confidence, especially up to the middle and the catching. And I would say this too, Wyatt Cross is a very, very talented, very hardworking young man who I would expect good things from this spring.
There's been some talk about an extra full-time assistant in college baseball. Just what are your thoughts on that, and I guess what would that do for you as a head coach? It's
a great question. From my personal beliefs on the situation, I think it's an opportunity for us to really invest into our student athletes, where oftentimes that fourth coach is doing multiple jobs. He's working nights, he's working weekends or whatnot, and he's not totally focused on the team. Now, we're very fortunate to have Casey Dykes, who is an absolute superstar, but to allow him to have their main focus be with the team, with the boys, helping to grow them both as people and as players is a huge benefit. And more so than that, it's time. You look at there's 35 players on the team. You look at your player to coach ratio, and I do understand that those coaches are already on staff, but oftentimes their focus is just trying to make a living to survive. I did it for a long, long time, and I think it's beyond time for college baseball to step forward and say we're gonna really invest into the well-being of all of our coaches, but just as importantly, our student athletes, which is always of utmost importance.
What can you tell us about Memphis and the following week in Tennessee and being able to start with that caliber of competition?
It certainly is a great barometer for us as we go down. I haven't looked much at Tennessee yet. You're looking at Memphis, they'll go left, right, left on the weekend with some pitchability lefties, which we're left-hand dominant in a lot of ways, which it's going to be a really good test for us how we can manage the game and execute it. They had 2 years ago they had the conference player of the year, I believe, and last year they had a second rounder on the mound. So they're going to be older, and they're going to be obviously they've have some guys with a lot of experience playing baseball in the South. Is a little bit different. My dad and Coach Sean Rock have been friends for 25 years. I grew up around Coach Rock, and they're going to be prepared excellently, like he's always done. It's been a long time in the SEC at Kentucky, so you expect them to be able to go out, execute at a high level, be very well prepared and coached, and they have a track record of having very good players.
So of this team, of 35 players, 20 of them are freshmen and sophomores. How much of the youth is going to have an impact on the team this year?
It will have a tremendous impact from the standpoint of those guys are going to have to play. And so you look at making sure you put those guys in a good situation to hopefully have success early, be able to get their confidence and then go play. But I would say that the derivative of confidence is your work and your talent, right? So if you don't work, it's very easy to have low self-confidence. And so those young guys are great workers and they're very talented. So anytime you have that combination, regardless of your age, it gives you a great advantage to start with. So we'll rely on those guys heavily. We'll put them in good situations, and you have the full confidence that those guys will go out and compete and give us a chance to win ball games.
Not to put you on the spot, but are you willing to share your batting order for Friday? What are you looking for?
Well, I would be curious to hear somebody else's input because I don't really have one yet. Actually, we were talking about it a little bit earlier. The main cogs in the wheel are going to be the main cogs in the wheel that we did this year as well from last year. You look at, obviously I think Cole Barr is going to be a guy that's in there quite a bit. What happens in left field between Dunham and Ashley and Crail and some of those guys. Will be to see Matt Lloyd likely at first base and the Bunnell and Walker situation second base, Houston at short, and we'll kind of roll from there.
Anything else?
As I say, Kalitha led off last year, but is there anybody that you see as a leadoff guy besides him?
There's a couple guys you can see in that position. Kalitha, you could even see a guy like Matt Gorski. You could see Justin Walker potentially. I really like Jeremy Houston. We put Jeremy Houston there a bit in the fall in the fall games. I think Jeremy's growth offensively has been one of the more interesting storylines that we've had. That guy's worked really hard. He's a different offensive player, and so you could see him potentially at some point sliding into that role. And I do know that normally what starts the season isn't what ends the first weekend, even let alone halfway through. But we are fortunate to have some different options there.
Alex Franklin was a guy who missed most of his senior year of high school because of an injury. People thought that he might be a candidate to redshirt, but he's on the roster. Is he ready to go? Is he ready to go for the season?
Yeah, Alex is ready to go. A really high-level athlete, a power arm. He missed. He really hasn't thrown until the last several weeks, but he and Coach Parker took it slow and got him right. But he's been really good. The development of change-up's been a big weapon for him. Changed his breaking ball grip, and it's been a lot better. So I would expect to see him throw this year and throw meaningful innings.
Just another local question real quick. Van Pelt also from Wilmington South. He's pretty sure we kind of last year. Has he shown anything?
Yeah, he's been really good offensively. He's a great worker, probably more of a pinch hitter DH option for us, but an A-plus kid, hard worker. He's got some real ability to hit too.